Necrozma Dusk Mane paired with Koraidon was able to make day 2 at the Milwaukee Regional Championship, and we're going to be trying out this rare duo and seeing how well it can perform. This is a really unique Sun team that was able to do well at the first Regional Championship of Dual Restricted. Let's break it down. First up, we have the Koraidon with the Clear Amulet and the ability to set up Sun and get an attack boost alongside, with the Terra Fire for the offensive and defensive typing, with Collision Course, Flare Blitz, Flame Charge, and Protect. Pretty standard Koraidon. If you're not running Life Orb, you might as well run Clear Amulets on the Koraidon because it can play well into Intimidate, Incineroar, which is really awesome. And with this Koraidon, because you're not really having a Tailwind mode or a fast mode, you don't even have like fast Icy Wind Mons. The only Mon you really do have on this team that has speed control that can utilize a max speed Koraidon is the Mudshot Walking Wake. I think this Koraidon most likely was pretty bulky that can function in Trick Room, but also like out of Trick Room because you do have the Flame Charge and the Mudshot. So Clear Amulet is the best way to go, because the Life Orb you would pretty much just going max speed, because otherwise that Koraidon is going to be frail and just going down after getting one attack off. The EV spread here, this is a recreation, just a lot of HP, a lot of attack, and some extra special defense, because I don't think you need max attack, because it's not like Koraidon's really going to be getting any one shots without max attack that it wouldn't be already getting. And yeah, just having a bit of extra special defense to be able to take on special hits is pretty nice, especially when like Calyx Shadow Rider and a bunch of other special attackers are pretty prevalent in this format. Not running any speed on this Koraidon because again, you do have a Trick Room mode with this team, and you can use Flame Charge to up your speed, so not really necessary to have a max speed Koraidon, as this one is supposed to be actually around to stick around on the field and dish out some good damage. Next Pokemon we have is the Walking Wake with the Choice Specs Protosynthesis for the ability, giving it a speed booster in the Sun with the Terra Water typing, with Hydro Steam, Draco Meteor, Weather Ball, and Mudshot. Really powerful Mon. I think Walking Wake is very nice as a water type that can actually do damage in Sun, and offensively the capabilities of being able to hit Incineroar, one of the Pokemon that the duo doesn't exactly appreciate, is very strong, with Hydro Steam able to hit Pokemon like Ho-Oh, Incineroar, and more even after that Sun, usually reducing the power of water type moves, but actually boosting it on the Walking Wake, allowing it to do a lot of damage. With the speed booster, you do threaten Draco Meteor into Miraidon. Strong Weather Ball for if you do have the Sun up. It's a fire type move that's pretty powerful to hit, and if they do change the weather, you do have an option to switch to typing. And then Mudshot for that speed control. It's really cool with the combination of Koraidon and potentially Ogerpon Necrozma of a Mudshot plus a follow-up that the opponent did not expect because of that speed drop from Mudshot. For the EV spread, I imagine it's always going to be a max speed Walking Wake to get that speed booster. You still want to have as much special attack as possible to dish out a ton of damage, and the HP does give you the Grassy Terrain extra recovery thanks to being a number divisible by 16, but pretty much a fast, heavy hitting Walking Wake that is just supposed to do a ton of damage. Next Pokemon we have is the Brute Bonnet with the Covert Cloak for its held item to play around the fake outs. We have Protosynthesis giving a defense booster while in the Sun, the Water defensive Terra typing with Seed Bomb, Sucker Punch, Rage Powder, and Spore. Brute Bonnet has picked up a lot in usage because of its great typing of Dark and Grass, being a very effective tool against Calyx Shadow Rider, and being able to take Body Press with a defense booster while in the Sun is really nice. It has really incredible bulk with base 111 HP and 99 for both defenses, which is impressive, with a pretty decent attack stat at 127. So this Pokemon can still do a lot of damage with Seed Bomb and Sucker Punch. And then of course Rage Powder and Spore are really great support moves in general, so it allows Bonnet to be a dual option of both offensive capabilities as well as a strong support option. It's just supposed to be able to take attacks with the max HP, just having a good amount of defense to get the defense booster and be able to survive the body presses from Zamazenta with that defense booster, and a lot of other crazy moves as well, and then the rest remaining going into special defense just to still be able to take these special hits, especially because you want to be able to tank multiple Astral Barrages and Moongeist Beams when necessary. A Brute Bonnet is nice for its typing, giving the team a Ghost Resist as well as a Ground Resist, which is very much appreciated. Next Pokemon we have is the Necrozma Dusk Mane with the Life Orb, Prism Armor with Terra Dragon for its defensive typing with Sunsteel Strike, Photon Geyser, Trick Room, and Protect. Now, I did actually make the only change to this team that I did make on the team compared to the original was I switched the Necrozma Dusk Mane item to Life Orb instead of Safety Goggles. And the reason is I didn't think Safety Goggles was really necessary. Yeah, there's like opposing bonnets, which is more popular now. Amoonguss usage I think is still pretty low, but both of them don't really like Koraidon, Ogerpon, And I feel like with Weather Ball, Walking Wake as well, I don't think safety goggles is nearly as necessary. And I think the problem I've had with Necrozma Dusk Mane is just failing to be able to get knockouts previously when I've ever used this mon. It's always missed those knockouts for me. So having the Life Orb to power it up so it can actually do damage in Trick Room, because it is probably one of your main sweepers in Trick Room other than the Ting Lu, I think it really needs the damage output. So having that Life Orb, even at the cost of a bit of bulk, I think can help out in a big long-term situation. So EV spread wise, you have a number that is 10x minus 1, which means that is 1 less than a number divisible by 10. So you do reduce the amount of damage you're taking from Life Orb from you have 19 that you're taking instead of a 20 if you had an extra 8 EVs into HP. You have max attack because you really want to dish out the damage, and then the rest just going into special defense. I do think I probably could have invested a bit more into the defense to make sure that like body press is never a 2-shot from a boosted Zamazenta. But overall, I do think that Necrozma does want to hit hard, and since I am running a Life Orb, it's not really going to be a big factor of body press being a 2-shot, as it would probably be that case with the Life Orb regardless. So just want to maximize its attack and dish out as much damage as possible while being able to take attacks. It's definitely an interesting restricted, which we don't commonly see. Steel typing is still pretty incredible. Its psychic type is a bit weird. It gives it decent offensive capabilities, but doesn't give it the best typing in general because of the dark and the ghost types that are just running around. However, it does have pretty decent HP, and prism armor, of course, being able to reduce special attack damage output is really nice on Necrozma. So I think it does have potential. So it is really cool to see that it was able to do well at this regional championship. Next Pokemon we have is the Ogerpon Heartflame with the Heartflame Mask, Mold Breaker for its ability with the Fire type Terra with Ivy Cudgel, Wood Hammer, Follow Me, and Spiky Shield. Having dual redirection is nice, and of course another Pokemon that is able to resist Fairy, because you do have 4 initial Fairy weaknesses without the Necrozma, so having a backup one is nice. A fire type that's just able to take advantage of the sun naturally that isn't Koraidon. Ogerpon Heartflame is just able to do damage and take attacks and set up the Necrozma for a Follow Me Trick Room option, or allow Walking Wake and Koraidon to do their thing with really strong damage output. I ended up going with a max defense Ogerpon Heartflame for the recreation because I feel like it's a weird mon in the format right now. But I do think being able to take like Glacial Lances from the Calyx Ice Rider, of course the Ivy Cudgel from Cornerstone Ogerpon, which is common, this is the EV spread that allows it to. This is the one that Shiliang Tang and Justin Tang used to get first and second place at the Reg G. I think it was San Antonio Regional Championship. Just able to tank attacks pretty well, and for the most part, like Ogerpon doesn't have to be offensive on this team. With the sun, it's able to do a ton of damage with its Ivy Cudgel. So I think realistically, speed tier wise, it's not really too much that it benefits from. I don't think there's any speed tier that it really needs to hit. So just being able to tank attacks is the goal here. Finally, the last mon, Ting Lu with the Assault Vest, Vessel of Ruin ability to lower the special attack damage output of all Pokemon on the field with the Terra Bug defensive type with Stomping Tantrum, Lash Out, Ruination, and Heavy Slam. I think Ting Lu is a really cool Pokemon just because of the fact that against Miraidon, that is pretty common everywhere, especially the Miraidon Lunala. It's a pretty good Pokemon because those Pokemon do make this team struggle with their restricteds, because Miraidon versus Koraidon is never really fun, and then of course Lunala against Necrozma was never really fun. So having a Pokemon that's able to reduce those special hits is pretty nice. It's also great into the Calyx Shadow Rider and even the Zamazenta duo, because with that Assault Vest and the Vessel of Ruin, it's taking attacks pretty well from the Shadow Rider, even if it tears out of its dark typing, and then Terra Bug to resist the body press is pretty helpful. So you have a pretty good mon here, and that's why you have Terra Bug. It's a neutral type to the Ghost while being able to resist the body press from the Zamazenta, which is absolutely huge. And then you have pretty good coverage with Stomping Tantrum, being able to hit Steel and Fire types. You have Lash Out for the Shadow Rider and the Lunala. You have Ruination, which is just great damage across the board, 50% of the opponent's remaining health. And then Heavy Slam to be able to hit like Flutter Mane and any Fairy types, especially that Terra Fairy Lunala. And yeah, I just think overall it's a great mon. You're able to do a lot of damage because it has base 110 attack. And we are going with pretty much the stat jump point of it, but nearly max. A lot of special defense, so it can take advantage of that Assault Vest and the Vessel of Ruin, because it does have the special defense not being the greatest stat out of Ting Lu. It's its weakest one, but still 80 is pretty strong when you consider you have a lot of special defense with the Assault Vest and Vessel of Ruin. It does stack up, and then the remaining just going into defense, because I don't think you really need the HP because Ting Lu already has incredible bulk thanks to its already high natural base HP. So how to use the team? You have a few different ways that you can approach it, but I would say mainly it's either the offense mode. You have the Koraidon, the Walking Wake, especially paired next to Redirect Mon like Brubon or Ogerpon make a lot of sense. Or you go with the Trick Room route, which you do have the Necrozma to set up the Trick Room, usually next to Redirector like Ogerpon or Brute Bonnet, or you could pair it with the Tinglu, because with the especially defensive bulk that the Tinglu provides because of the Vessel Ruin lowering the special attack damage output of the opponent, Necrozma is able to sponge up special attacks pretty well. It has a really high physical defense stats, so you are just being able to take the hits and then get the Trick Room up, and then you can fire off the damage output. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the name of the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. And while you're down there, let me know what do you think about the Necrozma forms, because man, no Ultra Necrozma is very sad, although expanding force Ultra Necrozma would be pretty strong, although speed tier would be really strange in this format, I suppose. However, I feel like the Necrozmas always are just missing something. It's always just missing something. Like, it has good stats theoretically, but it always feels like it's just not enough. It always feels like it's has good natural attack, it has good natural bulk. It's either always getting barely two-shot by something, or it's just missing a knockout with its attack. So let me know what you think about the Necrozma forms down below in the comments. Groudon Ho-Oh Raging Bolt with Fluttermane, King Gambit, and Xianpao. Okay, very strange team for me to deal with because Necrozma is not great. If I Dragon Tear, it's actually pretty good, but there's Raging Bolt, Fluttermane, and Pow. This is a really bad matchup, isn't it? Yeah, this is a really bad matchup. I do have Walking Wake though, and that's like my saving grace because Walking Wake's actually good here. Really liking the idea of Walking Wake Ogerpon. I do think Walking Wake plus Ogerpon's pretty good here. I think it is, at least, because the idea of being able to, I mean, they just have a really tough time of knocking out Ogerpon. This is a physically defensive Ogerpon. They don't have much to deal with it. I just don't bring Necrozma unless I plan to Terra it. Actually, I don't think I bring Koraidon because I think Koraidon's bad into this. I think Koraidon's really bad into this, so I think I'm leaving Koraidon behind. I think I bring Necrozma and then maybe attempt to Terra Dragon. I don't know if I will be able to. That's the question. Am I going Tinglu? Am I going Bonnet? I feel like Bonnet's better because I like having a ground resist. We'll see. This is a tricky one. Groudon Ho is a very, very rough matchup. I'm bringing Necrozma because it's like one of the best answers to my Ho, or breaking through the Ho. If it's like, well, I guess if I'm bringing Wake and if it Terra Grasses, I do have Weather Ball, so that's not too bad. Ho plus Groudon is perfect versus Ogerpon and Walking Wake. I don't think Groudon can threaten a knockout at all. I really want to get rid of... Who do I want to get rid of? They're both pretty big threats. I think my best play, though, is to get rid of that Ho-Oh. And I think I'm going to go for Ivy Cudgel Hydro Steam into it and try to take the knockout. If the Ho-Oh protects, it protects. I don't know. Leaving both restrictions here is weird for them because I have no idea what their Terras are. I mean, I'd imagine it's Terra Grass, Ho-Oh, the Groudon, maybe Terra Fire, so it definitely, I think, want to retreat. I see like Raging Bolt switching it. We're not going to see any switches, which is crazy to me. Are they going for Protect commitment? They Terra to Ho to Grass, okay? Yeah, it's Grass, okay. If my Ogerpon outspeeds, and I have a feeling it does, we are in a good spot. Protect Groudon? Okay. Very nice. Very nice pin. Oh my goodness. I'm very happy about that. Hydro Steam into the Ho-Oh. Not much damage. And I do outspeed because I have so much natural speed. Nice, even though there's no investment. Ho-Oh, you need a lot of speed investment. They just focus on bulk. Goodbye, Ho-Oh. That's an incredible knockout immediately. Feeling in a pretty good spot now. Glad I pinned. I wasn't sure if the Groudon was a Assault Vest or if it was like something else, but that works out. We're gonna see Fluttermane come in. All right, now does the specs don't crit me? And I think I'm in a good spot. I'm gonna go for my Terra. Gonna go for Hydro Steam. I guess I just follow me here realistically. Yeah. Because I am not risking Moonblast crits from a Specs Flutter knocking out my Wake and me not being able to knock out the Groudon. So I will go for my Terra Water here. To be safe, I hope that this is safe. I think it should be. We should get the knockout into Groudon. And it looks like, even if the Icy Wind, I had the Speed Booster, so I always outspeed Groudon regardless. He went for the Moonblast. Okay, so it wasn't like a Dazzling Gleam crit, but like... It doesn't look like it's Specs. I imagine it's the Sash Flutter. This works out huge because I get to knock out into the Groudon here. Nice. And that's why I liked the Walking Wake plus Ogerpon lead. Not only did it have redirection for Walking Wake, which was huge, but also the fact that it could pin the Ho-Oh. And it was like my best lead probably. Like I couldn't really see too much I was leading into this. Xianpao coming in. Interesting. Okay. So I do have a... So... Wait, only one of these can be Sash. Who is the Sash? I think the play is to always just go for a Hydro Steam into the slot and just spike his shield. Even if they... Let me think. I want to make sure I don't mess up this game. If they go for Sucker Punch, Dazzling Gleam, knock on my Wake, that's fine. I go out into my Necrozma, and then I think Trick Room Follow Me should seal it. As long as the Flare Main doesn't have Trick Room, but I don't think it should. Oh, battle gonna be forfeited. Okay. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. You know what? I'll take it. Oh, Walkie Awake. The menace. The menace against that team. Because, yeah, but that Sun matchup was not fun with Wake. They did not have good answers to Wake. Granted, they didn't bring Bolt. Calyx, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, Tornadus, Raging Bolt, Landorus Incarnate, and Xianpao. Ooh, not exactly a pretty matchup. They probably have Rain Dance Torn on this team, which... I don't have a Raging Bolt or anything. I do have a Walking Wake, but... Yeah, that's probably not going to be as good of an answer. I do like Brute Bonnet here. Brute Bonnet is pretty good. Necrozma is pretty decent, I'd say. Yeah, I do like these two. I really do like the Tinglu, so I will probably try to bring Tinglu to this match. I think Brute Bonnet plus... Actually, maybe I just leave Tinglu straight away. Like in Terra. Because Terra Tinglu is actually pretty good here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Tinglu and Terra immediately. Necrozma. In the back, probably Koraidon Brute Bonnet. I don't really need Ogerpon Heartflame to my knowledge, and Walking Wake. Yeah, like if I was going for a fast game pace, I think I would probably bring it, but there's so many threats that I'd probably say it's not. I mean, I could have probably brought over Brute Bonnet if I really, really want to, but we'll see. I think having Bonnet is still pretty nice for Spore pressure. Tornadus Landorus. Okay. Don't mind that too much. We bring Tinglu plus the Necrozma. I don't have the Terra, which is pretty good. I don't know if they have Taunt on the... I don't know if they have Taunt, though, on the Torn. Probably not, I would imagine. If they do, though, it becomes a much harder game. I think I'm just going to go for... At least I'm stronger than last... Actually, I don't remember how heavy Tinglu is compared to Landorus. Landorus is decently heavy, so... I think the play here is just to get a Ruination off into the Torn and protect turn 1. Yeah. Let's see if they have Taunt. I want to scout for Taunt. So we will protect our Necrozma here as Rain Dance coming out. I guess they're just going to go for Sands here, which is fine. They're not going to do too much damage with the Vessel of Ruin, and we do have our Assault Vest. As we do see the Sands here Storm come out. I guess I could have got Trick Room up, but I can go for another Trick Room, and I guess to the delay turn, a Trick Room is still pretty good for us. Well, missing the Ruination stinks there, but sure. That's kind of a bad miss, but sure. I would like a Ruination in a Torn, though, and a Trick Room. Did I go for Terra Dragon? I don't think I need to. Yeah, I don't think I would need to. I think I'm just going to Trick Room normally. As we see Sandseer, It does a lot, but it's not near a KO, which is the important part. Bleak Wing gonna come out. There's no damage. Okay. Speed drop. Ruination does come out into Torn. We want to try to get rid of Torn because it is the Rain Dance Mon on the team. And Trick Room comes out. Okay, beautiful. I think I get the knockout into Lando if I just click Lash Out and I click Sunsteel Strike. Whereas Photon guys are better. It's probably Sunsteel Strike. Yeah, I think it's Sunsteel Strike. I'm going to Sunsteel Strike the Landorus. I don't know if they have Protect or not, but I do want to get damage into the Landorus because it was doing some pretty big damage. The Torn's not really doing that much damage, so I'm not really too concerned about it at the moment. I do wish I hit the Ruination earlier so I could have Ruination the Landorus, and then I could have went for a Sunsteel Strike on the Landorus, a Lash Out on Torn, because if the Lando protects, it might actually get a bit ugly. We're going to see the Torn retreat. Let's see who comes out. Gonna be the Zamazenta. Okay. Okay, no protects, which is good. So I do get the Lash Out into the Lando. I get a crit, but it shouldn't matter because the double up should have definitely KO'd. I guess I could have went for Photon guys at a cover for a Zamazenta switch. I was trying, like, I don't think Pal ever switches there, so I guess I should have went for Photon guys now that I think about it. But we do get the KO on Lando, which is massive. Also, was that Specs Lando? Because, like, I feel like even with Life Orb Sheer Force, I had Vessel of Ruin and I had Prism Armor. Like, that was doing a ton of damage. Shadow Rider comes in. Not too surprising. I think the ideal play is just to get a Ruination off into the... I mean, it's just get damage across the board, realistically. Yeah, I think it's just get damage across the board. Torn is still going to be ugly in the end game, but I think it's fine. I'm just going to Sunsteel Strike and Ruination. If they protect one, that's okay. I get big chip damage into the other. They also have to fear the Ruination double up because I could go for a double up with Ruination plus an attack and be really bad for them. They do go for Protect with Kali, but they can only protect with... They only can get a knockout with one. And I get a big Ruination off into the Zama, which is pretty nice. So... Sunsteel Strike, gonna go into the Protect. Okay. Body press into... Okay, they target a Necrozma, which is actually good for me. The Necrozma goes down. I get a free switch into my... I could go Bonnet or I could go Koraidon. I think I always want to go Koraidon here. Yeah, I think I want to go Koraidon. And then what I want to do is this 2 turns of Trick Room? Yes, it is. I think I want to Lash Out to Kali and Flame Charge to Kali. I think it's really likely that they go for a Terra with the Zamazenta, and I don't know if the Shadow Rider is switching out into the... I guess he's Shadow Rider switching out into, what's it called, the Torn. Or if they stay in and I get the 2 attacks off, I should get the KO and Kali. Unless they have a defensive Terra, but I don't know if they defensive Terra in this state because I could just Flare Blitz, so I don't think they are. I think they always Terra the Zama. Yeah, they retreat in a Torn, so that means I'll have Rain for the game and I'll be faster than the Kali, which is kind of massive. Let's see if they protect the... Okay, they don't protect the Zama. I could have just got the knockout to Zama, so that's unfortunate. Not Rocky Helmet Torn is actually kind of helpful. All right, Flame Charge. That boost is really nice. I mean, I could have Collision Course knocked out, so I'm shocked that they stayed in like that. Oh my goodness. I don't think the crit should matter in the end game, but that is actually kind of scary. We are going to see the Kali come in. I wish I had Earthquake. I wish I had Earthquake. Gonna Stomping Tantrum and Protect, I think. I need to damage into Zama. I don't know if Shadow Rider protects or not. That's the thing. Because I think the protect on Koraidon's obvious, so I think they're going to body press the Ting Lu. They could double protect here as well, which I think is okay, depending on the situation. We're going to see the Terra come out. This is who? Zama? Shadow Rider. Dark type. Oh, for the last shot. Okay. Is it not Sash then on your Shadow Rider? Because then I can Collision Course. Okay. They do get a protect off with Koraidon. I have a feeling they're not Sash Shadow Rider if they made that play. Sami Tantrum going to come out. Good damage to the Zama. Body Press going to go out into the Koraidon. Astral Barrage. Okay. If I KO the Zamazenta, I think I win the game guaranteed. Look at that Astral Barrage damage. That did nothing to Ting Lu. The thing is, I think if they didn't crit me, I wouldn't have to worry about Astral Barrage at all. But I had to worry about Astral Barrage. I think we always go for Summoning Tantrum and we go for Collision Course. Because I think you only Terra Dark in that situation if you're not Sash. So it should be Sash Pow. Which means I go for Collision Course into the Kali Shadow. I take the knockout to Shadow Rider if they don't protect. If they protect Shadow Rider and body press a knockout, that's fine. Because I still have Bonnet around. And Bonnet plus a partner should win the game. So let's see. Especially with these Zamazenta unable to Terra and it being pretty low on HP. So that works out huge for me. Ah, they got the redraw too because I Collision Course to Kali. I Collision Course to Kali. It isn't Sash. Yeah, okay. That's exactly how I felt. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Oh, man. Incredible. Incredible. Terra Dark also doesn't usually run Sash, I feel like. So beautiful. Huge. Able to get rid of the Kali. I went for the Kali because, like, Zamazenta can only body press one. And I did have Bonnet in the back that is able to beat the Zamazenta anyway. So we will go for Summoning Tantrum. We will go for our Collision Course. And our game is secured as battle going to be forfeited. Excellent. Excellent. Felt like we just had pretty good turns. They were just really hard for them to actually knock out the Necrozma. I was able to get Trick Room up, get some pretty good damage across the board, and then clean up thanks to Flame Charge Koraidon. If they actually went for the Terra Dark before and read the Flame Charge, it could have been a different story, but luckily they did switch out a Torn like I was expecting. Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, Rillaboom, Calyx, Shadow Rider, Volcarona, and the Zamazenta. Okay. Volcarona makes this a bit weird because if it's Wisp, it's pretty annoying to deal with, actually. Yeah, Volcarona is actually pretty decently tough for my team. Also, they have Grimmsnarl, which screens plus this is going to be awkward. I think I'm still going to go with Necrozma, which is pretty good. Celestial Strike is pressuring the Grim if they bring it. I like the Ting Lu. I wish we had a Rock Move to cover the Volcarona, but should be all right. Back Pokemon. I think it's Koraidon and Bonnet. It's not amazing this matchup, but it's like decent. I think always just having backups to Kali Shadow though are really important, so I will bring it regardless. Like this could have been a matchup where I could have justified Wake more than Bonnet, but I think having a Mon, because Shadow Rider saved in the back and once Trick Room is over, could be really out of hand if I didn't set up my Koraidon correctly. So let's see. Grimmsnarl plus Zamazenta. Okay, that's perfectly fine as we lead Ting Lu plus our Necrozma. Okay, this is a pretty good lead here. This is a Trick Room and Ruination angle. Or I could Sunsteel Strike immediately. I want to Sunsteel Strike immediately? I think it might be better. Yeah, I'm going to Sunsteel Strike because the thing is it could reflect. Or I don't want Terra Dragon. I don't know why I clicked Terra Dragon. I think going for this. Stop tearing, James. Go for Sunsteel Strike. Go for Terra with the Ting Lu. Go for Ruination. I think it makes the most sense because I think in this type of position, Reflect makes the most sense to me with Body Press as target. Either one's fine. If they have Foul Play Body Press would be scary, which is why I want to Sunsteel Strike instead of Trick Room. But also, if they reflect an attack next turn and I Trick Room, then next turn Grim could be saved, go out and like Volcarona, and I got no damage on Grim, which is actually kind of bad for me. I think I want the damage immediately. Oh boy. Thank goodness I have Ruination. Celestial Strike. I actually need this not to KO. Perfect. And I get the Ruination off. Excellent. Okay. All right. Grimmsnarl is probably faster than Tinglu. I have no speed on the Tinglu. I'm going to go for Ruination into the Zamazenta because I need chip damage. They're going to go for Thunder Wave into the Tinglu or Paralysis. I don't think Body Press at +3 KOs. Yeah. Necrozma is just that bulky. Ruination again into the Zamazenta. Fantastic. And we are able to get to the Trick Room with the Necrozma set up. Awesome. So, do I want to go for Photon Geyser? I think Photon Geyser plus a Stomping Tantrum into the Grimmsnarl makes the most sense to me. I don't know if they have Rillaboom and go into Rillaboom. That's fine. At least with the Thunder Wave, even though there's Paralysis chance, at least I can't get burned by the Volcarona. So that's one positive at least. Like, I'll take a positive there. They do switch out to Grim. Incineroar? Real? Oh, wait, they don't have Incineroar. No, they did have Incineroar. Yeah. Okay, so I do get a Stomping Tantrum off an Incineroar and a Photon Geyser. This is probably the best case for damage-wise, so I'll take it. And I do connect with the Stomping Tantrum, which is good. Big damage. How much damage do we do to you? Not much at all. We are intimidated and they are like +3 defense though. They take the KO on Necrozma, which is excellent for me. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go Koraidon. They're probably going to fake out the... I don't know who they fake out, actually. But I think my best play is just to protect Koraidon and go for a Stomping Tantrum attempt into the Zamazenta. If they go for a fake out into Zamazenta, then I get a double power Stomping Tantrum, assuming no Paralysis the next turn. If they fake out the Koraidon, I have a chance to get 2 Stomping Tantrums off into the Zamazenta, which would allow me to get the KO. Fake out into Koraidon. Beautiful. Please get the Stomping off. Nice. Almost a KO, but not enough. Okay. They body press you. That's okay. Ah, I take that really, really well. I don't know if you're going to go for Will-O-Wisp or not. I want to Flame Charge the Incineroar and Stomping Tantrum you. Oh no, they didn't protect it. I get parried on the one turn. I don't want that happening. They also went for Wisp into crit. Oh my god. No, no. You can't be serious, man. Oh, what? I think I'm still okay. I think I'm still okay. I'm taking that. Please get the Stomping off this time. Is it Iron Defense, Wide Guard, Body Press, and another move? Is it no Protect? Because they haven't protected once at all. Please get to Stomping off so I can get the KO's double power. So I definitely KO the Zamazenta even if your Terra is 2 some resist. I Collision Course even though I think the Calyx is I hate this move. I hate this move so much. My out is getting a Sucker Punch crit into Zama, stomping KOs the Ensign, and then I pray against the Kali Shadows Grimmsnarl end. I don't get the crit, so. Pokemon Thunderwave. I mean, I wasn't getting paralyzed for the last couple, but it's just when it matters, it matters. Like, it's always when it matters, man. I guess I could have went for the Zamazenta, but double up. But I really need to KO the Instant too, because if I didn't KO the Instant, I just wasn't like Bonnet in the endgame was still really rough. Because I think instant pivoting was just so rough to deal with for Koraidon Bonnet endgame that I needed the stomping, KO the Zama, and I needed the collision course damage. Granted, I guess I went with a flame charge read because I thought they were going to try to bring Shadow Rider on the fighting move, but it's still very, very fine, assuming I just get that. Like, the only move that I need Tinglu to finish off the game. This is one interesting team. A Landorus Incarnate, an Urshifu, Heatran, Terapagos, Zacian, and Raging Bolt. Granted, the Heatran's actually kind of problematic. Although I do have Tinglu, which is good, except there's a Zacian. Okay. I don't want to go here. Tinglu's pretty good. It's just weird because they have a Landorus Incarnate on this team as well. Yeah, the Heatran just makes this weird. Koraidon is good against this team because they probably don't have Rain Dance on this team, which means Koraidon's really good. Could I do Koraidon plus Ogerpon? Potentially. I don't really need Bonnet in this matchup. Walking Awake is decent. I don't know if I want to try a Trick Room mode, potentially. Like, I could do late game Trick Room, and it'd be viable. I think I'm going to do Koraidon Ogerpon lead. Because it's pretty good offensively against my opponent's team since there's no Rain Dance. Necrozma and Tinglu back, because Tinglu's good to switch into Terapagos, and once they go for the Starstorm, it's a lot less threatening. I like the idea of Ogerpon lead, because Ivy Cudgel and the Sun would do a ton of damage to a Heatran, and it hits it through its Flash Fire thanks to Mold Breaker. But we'll see. I am pretty scared about the Heatran, actually. The Heatran's scary. They might not even bring it, but Zacian's going to be concerning. Mon, Heatran will be. Heatran, Zacian, yeah. Okay. Alright, as long as this isn't some substitute Zacian that goes for substitute immediately, I should be alright. I could probably just go for a double protect. I don't think you ever set up on these. I'm just going to go for a double protect. Because I want to see if there's a Terra involved. Because Heatran is threatened. Like, I could just go for Follow Me Collision Course or Follow Me Flare Blitz. He protects Zacian. That makes sense. Is the Heatran protecting too? Is this literally just like us protecting the Scout for like Terras? I think it is. If the Heatran has like Stealth Rocks or something, I'm going to be upset. Yep, that's the case. Okay. I think I would Terra here and just go for a Flare Blitz into Zacian. And I'm gonna. Well, the thing is, if you Terra the Heatran, you can't Terra the. You can't Terra the Terapagos if you have Terapagos. So it might be actually an okay trait to Collision Course Follow Me. I think it is. Oh wait, the Heatran can protect this turn because it failed last turn. But are you gonna risk the Zacian? That's the weird part. Like, there's a lot of risks here. They do reveal Terra. But this is Zacian. That's incredible if it's Heatran. Oh, that's so good for me. Terra Fire Zacian. What the heck? You better not be Terra Blast. Although I think Ogerpon might survive because I'm max defense Ogerpon. Okay, follow me from Ogerpon. Okay, it's just play rough. Okay. As we get the collision course off into the Heatran. Good. That means no Magma Storm that I have to worry about, which was the main threatening move. And yeah, max defense Ogerpon is just so good against Zacian. Alright, what's coming in? Landers, okay. If I get rid of Landers, I feel pretty good about my end game being Necrozma Tinglu to beat the remainders. I'm just gonna follow me Flare Blitz. I should knock out any Landers with Flare Blitz in the Sun with the attack booster, right? So I'm just gonna Flare Blitz for the KO, hopefully. Scarf, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I live with both. Nice. Post combat, good to know. Ogerpon goes down, but I think I'm in a great shape. It should be Scarf Lando because it outspits Zacian. Like that would be such a slow Zacian. Yeah, goodbye Landers. Good. All right, knockouts have been pretty solid for us so far. We're going into Tinglu here, or not Tinglu. Sorry, we're going out into Necrozma here to set up Trick Room. We have Prism Armor. Terapagos reveals itself. Did I ever Terra my Necrozma to get the Trick Room up safely? I don't think so. So how did they deny Trick Room? They either crit with insane moves. I think my best play is just to Flame Charge the Terapagos and go for a Trick Room. Because I'm expecting Koraidon to go down. But if they don't because to knock out Necrozma, I'm pretty sure you have to double it. I'm pretty sure there's no other way. Because you don't have Terastallization available on the Terapagos. I'm pretty sure I can Flame Charge so I get the speed boost. If they do double up to knock on Necrozma, then I could go for Collision Course afterward, and I think I'm fine. They go for Behemoth Blade to knock out the Koraidon, which is fair. And Earth Power, sure. That's Specs? That might be. That did a lot. I think it's Specs. So we get to go Tinglu, and what's nice about the Vessel of Ruin is we should live another attack from the Terapagos. So we're gonna go for... I want to say that's Specs. Am I crazy for thinking that's Specs? I'm going for Stomping Tantrum, Sunsteel Strike. I guess I could Ruination too. Ruination's... Because I actually don't even know Stomping Tantrum would knock out. You know what? I want a Ruination, and I'm going to go for Sunsteel Strike. I think Zacian probably protects here, but we'll see. If they don't protect, it could get ugly if I miss the Ruination. Like, I think I have to miss Ruination, and they have to not protect. But we'll see. I think I could even still win barring those odds. But we'll see. Okay, I was about to say... They didn't protect. I thought they would protect, but sure. We do get the Ruination off into Pagos, and we are able to get a Sunsteel Strike off into the Terapagos, which does pick up the knockout. Zacian shouldn't be able to knock out any of my Pokemon, unless they close combat here. The Necrozma. Going for Play Rough, excellent. No attack drop is beautiful. But I'm pretty sure as long as they don't get... Well, even if they get 3 protects, like, what do? They can't really do too much. I'm just going to Stomping Tantrum plus Photon Geyser. Actually, was this a mistake? They do get triple protect odds. They get triple protect odds. I thought they were going to protect the last turn and let Terapagos try to maybe KO the Necrozma, as Zacian is technically the threat. But, I mean, it's just triple protect. So, like, literally, like... It's the same if they got 4 protects, realistically. At the end of the day, like, this was going to happen. And I just gotta hope that they don't get triple. And even if they get triple, I don't even know if Behemoth Blade would knock out the Tinglu, because Play Rough did 100 and I have like 120 remaining, right? So I don't even think that Behemoth Blade KOs, because it's only 10 base power more powerful. And they don't even go for triple, so Stomping Tantrum. Oh, also since Stomping Tantrum one-shot too, the Zacian, we're good. Okay. Okay. Goodbye, Zacian. Goodbye, Zacian. Whew. All right. So turn 1 was funny. Turn 2, I kind of got it right with the collision course. I'm surprised to see Terrafire on that Zacian, but it ended up really working out because I was able to get the collision course knock on the Heatran, which was probably the biggest threat at the time. Then I was able to KO the Lando, which was the biggest threat to my combination of the Necrozma plus, well, Necrozma for setting up Trick Room. And then endgame Tinglu ended up putting in good work. Calyx, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, Xianpao, Urshifu, Rillaboom, Raging Bolt. Okay. Koraidon decent against this. Necrozma pretty good. Necrozma is pretty good here. Trying to think about like what the best lead is. Probably Tinglu, Necrozma. Yeah, I like Tinglu, Necrozma a lot. Terra Bug is going to come into play with Tinglu and it's going to do work. Otherwise, don't really need Ogerpon. Walking Awake's like okay, but I think it's just Brutbonic and Koraidon again. Yeah, I think it's just Brutbonic, Koraidon. It's really good against this for the most part. Like the Necrozma just pretty much doesn't go down to anything. I'm able to get Trick Room up. Tinglu is just so hard for my opponent to remove, especially with that Terra Bug option because they dropped the Fire type on the Fire Water Grass course. So let's see what we can do. Tinglu Ruination is also going to be big for helping to get rid of Zamazenta. And yeah, like they don't have the best switches to Koraidon. So I think I got to watch out for Raging Bolt though. Raging Bolt's definitely a Pokemon that can revenge sweep in the end. So let's see what they decide to go with. Not 100% sure. Are they going to lead the Zamazenta or not? They're going to lead Raging Bolt Xianpao, which is cool because Tinglu is a fantastic lead here. Perfect. I wish I had Earthquake, but I think this is pretty all right here. Booster energy on the Bolt. Okay. I like the idea of just getting... Do I want to Trick Room up this turn? I feel like my best play is just to go for a Protect and a Terra, as well as a Stomping Tantrum into the Bolt. Or do I want to... That's fine. I could also go for Heavy Slam into the POW, which isn't bad damage either. I think I like the Stomping Tantrum though into Bolt. Get a lot of damage. If they Protect... I don't know if you're going to Protect it because that's really passive here. I can see a switch, but I don't really see Protect. Looks like they didn't Terra Eater, so I'm going to get a big Stomping Tantrum off potentially. I don't know if they're doubling Necrozma. They could be doubling the Tinglu with Draco Meteor Crash, but that shouldn't knock out after the Terra Bug. So let's see if they double Necrozma or not. They did Crunch. Beautiful. It should be Thunderbolt then. I don't think you raw Draco Meteor here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Huge Protect. We get to stall out a turn for setting up Trick Room because that means we get an advantage later on. Stomping Tantrum. I was about to say, even with the Sword of Ruin, I don't think that should KO Bolt, but we get a crit. Which I actually didn't want because now they get a free switch to Shadow Rider and it gets awkward, but I think that's still pretty decent for us. Okay. I gotta watch out though because Shadow Rider could actually become scary. Because Crunch Astro might take the knockout into Necrozma. Oh, they bring Zamazenta in. Okay. Does Crunch Body Press knockout Necrozma? I'm not 100%. I mean, I'm going to attempt to go for a Trick Room because if I get it, I'm in a good spot. So like, there's no reason for me never not to go for a Trick Room. And we go for a Heavy Slam into the POW to break Sash because I think that's more important than the damage in the Zamazenta currently. Yeah, I actually think the crit might be bad for us because I think Zamazenta is way more threatening with the crunch than a Thunderbolt was the next turn. Granted, like, not awful. It's not ideal. I don't have a switch in for Ice Crash Body Press, so I just gotta go for the Heavy Slam here. I think it's gonna come down to reading the next turn. Oh! They did not target my threat, the Necrozma. They doubled a Tinglu. Interesting. I guess they read a switch. I'm able to get a big Heavy Slam off into POW. Yeah, that's massive. And I get the Trick Mouth. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah, this is looking really good for my combination in the back. I think I'm actually going to just double the Zamazenta with Ruination plus Photon Geyser. If they decide, hey, I'm going to go for Sucker Punch, that's fine. I could see Protect Body Press here because I don't think their Zamazenta's threatened, at least at this point in the game. I don't really see I get the KO into Zamazenta since they know I'm not like Choice Banded or anything on the Tinglu. But we'll see. I don't really fear the POW because I have Brute Bond in the back with Sucker Punch and I have Koraidon that threatens it. You see a Terra, which is not surprising. This is probably the Zamazenta to avoid the Stomping Tantrum from doing super effective damage. Oh, they Terra the POW. Stellar Terra. Oh, they're going for Stellar Terra Sucker Punch. Okay, that's fair. That is fair. Does this KO? Yeah, I should KO Tinglu. Oh, Tinglu's so good, man. Tinglu's so good. Ruination gonna come out into the Zama. That's big damage. Photon guys are gonna come out into the Zamazenta as well. That almost took the KO, which is really nice. Body press. That's big damage, but it's not a knockout, which is massive. Oh, I'm feeling really good about Koraidon Brute Bonnet coming in and sweeping the game. Just gonna go for attacks. Just gonna go for attacks at this point. That is massive that we lived that. Now the Calyx probably can't Terra. Bonnet is looking really good in this end game. Flame Charge plus Spore is looking really good. I want them to take the double knockout. If I have these Pokemon in the end game, it's really awkward actually, because I could definitely lose to the Shadow Rider reverse sweep. So that's all I have to watch out for. Nice. I actually really am glad that they took the knockout there. Good. Good. Okay. So I get rid of the POW. They're going to take the knockout into Necrozma. It's a 2v2, but this 2v2 way favors me. This 2v2 way favors me. Goodbye, GN POW. And that is their Tarragon. This is not Life Orb POW. It's probably... I think I could Spore and Flare Blitz. I mean, can I lose this end game? 100% it's possible. I think it's really unlikely, but it depends on speeds, I think. So we bring out the Bonnet because this is Shadow Rider coming in. So I'm going for the Spore into the Zama and I'm clicking Flare Blitz because Flare Blitz should KO Shadow Rider. Actually, no. My play is to... No, I think my play actually... In terms of Trick Room... No, I think I'm fine, yeah. I think I Spored a Calyx and I think I Flame Charged the... Zama. I was like, okay, I was thinking of Sporing the Zamazenta and I was thinking of Flare Blitzing the Calyx. But if it is Sash for some reason, because we didn't technically confirm on the POW... If the Calyx goes for Astro, if it goes for the Psychic KO on the Koraidon, it's actually weird. They go for Protect with the Zama, which is fine. They would go for a Double Protect, which is whatever. Okay. Unfortunately, we never found a speed tier, but at the end of the day, am threatening the Spore, am threatening the Flame Charge. So it's just going to come down to the Zama speed. Can it even KO Brute Bonnet because it does have the defense booster energy? Which I think it doesn't, just because I had a defense booster energy. And I am very physically defensive on the Brute Bonnet. So I'm going to Flame Charge and Spore. Because then I can Flare Blitz to Calyrex in the end game. I really hope I'm not messing this up. It really just depends on how fast Zamazenta is. They went for a double protect. Okay. Did they go for a double? If they went for a double, I just Sucker Punch the Cali and hope it's not Sash. They do get the double protect, but it's okay because I get the Flame Charge into the Zamazenta, and that will clean up. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, double could have been scary depending on what the Calyx moveset is. If it's like Encore Disable, that would have been really bad. But yeah, now I think I just guarantee win. Because I can go for Spore and Flare Blitz. And that should always guarantee win here because I don't really see what Calyx can do that could stop me. Because they can't Encore or Disable like both my Mons at the same time. Astral Barrage is nowhere near enough damage. So yeah, I'm just able to go for Flare Blitz. Let's see if it KOs. Let's see if it's like Focus Sash or not. But I assume it's not Sash. I probably could have just Flare Blitz and went for Spore and Zamazenta. But at the end of the day, it still just comes down to I think double protect and speed tier of the Zamazenta and the Koraidon. Because I'm not fast Koraidon, but I have no idea how fast their Zamazenta is. I mean, if their Zamazenta has no speed, then there's a thing. But yeah, they can't win, so they forfeit. Whew. All right. Huge Ting-Lu putting in a huge amount of work. A huge amount of work. Koraidon, Chi-Yu, Brute Bonnet, Fluttermane with Lunala and Ursaluna. Sun Mirror, which granted our Necrozma does not enjoy. However, Terra Dragon actually doesn't sound bad here. It doesn't sound awful. All right, how do I want to approach this? I do like Ting-Lu. Ting-Lu is pretty good. Unfortunately, its defensive typing would normally be helpful against Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, but this one's bugged, so this is awkward. Yeah, this is actually kind of awkward. Kind of awkward. I guess I'll lead walk. I think I lead Walking Wake. This is weird because it's just gonna come down to how well they can't lead Flutter Chi. If they lead Flutter Chi-Yu and I lead Koraidon, that's bad. I think Walking Wake plus the Necrozma actually isn't a terrible lead for the most part. I do want to bring my own Koraidon in back, and then last Pokemon it's either Bonnet or Ting-Lu. I think it's Bonnet. Oh, this is tough. The problem with Ting-Lu is it's able to help out against Chi-Yu, but it's really bad into like most, and Lunala I suppose, but it's really bad in everything else. Like at least Bonnet has similar traits where it can help out against both those Pokemon, but or at least not the Chi-Yu, but it helps against Lunala. Kind of helps out against the Flutter because I have Sucker Punch. Oh, we'll see. I need the defense boost, I think. Ooh, okay. This works. This works. Okay, I'm very happy about this. All right. I'm very happy about this because they gave me the speed booster, which means I outspeed the Chi-Yu, and I also threaten Draco Meteor onto the Koraidon. So I actually have a really good offensive position. Yeah, I have an incredible offensive position against this, which is thankfully good. We're going to go for a Hydro Steam into the Chi-Yu, and I'm just going to go for my Terra Dragon, I think, which is safe. I don't need Terra Fire, I think, on the Koraidon. I mean, the only way this gets ugly is if Flutter's in the back. Actually, maybe I should let them take the knock. Well, I think they don't want to take the damage with Koraidon. I think I'm just going to Photon Geyser here. I don't think they Terra. They're risking Draco Meteor. They just stay in, no Terra, which is fantastic for me because I get the Hydro Steam KO and a Chi-Yu, which is awesome. And I didn't want to Terra because I just get swept by Fluttermane. They have Fluttermane in the back. Even Terra Fairy Lunala could sweep me in the back. So that's why I didn't want to do it. They close combat too, which is perfect because I am able to survive even the Life Orb. Close combat. That looks like life orb damage. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I got an incredible turn 1 knockout. Granted, there's no Terra that I burned, but that is fantastic. Goodbye, Rhydon. And yeah, that's an incredible spot. Let's see if it's Lunala plus the... Is it Lunala back? Plus Ursaluna. Or not Ursaluna. Yeah, Ursaluna. That's Ursaluna. Flutter is Flutter. Okay. So I'm glad I didn't Terra, because saving Terra is actually useful for Bonnet, I think. So I need the Sash broken, but I also need... I think I just Hydro Steam the Flutter. I think I'm willing to sack both here because I need a reposition. Yeah, I'm just going to double up the Flutter main. I go for Icy Wind, which is cool because I'm able to get a Hydro Steam off into the Flutter and put it into Sucker Punch range, which is massive. Because I don't know if their Lunala can beat my Bonnet. Yeah, good damage. Meteor Beam coming out, that's fair. Does this KO my Walking Wake? This might not. Let's see. I don't mind if it does because I'd like the free switch. It looks like I missed. Yep. I wouldn't have minded because now I think I just get Bonnet and I think I just click Sucker Punch into the Flutter and I think I click Hydro Steam into the Lunala. And I'm pretty sure it's not Fairy type move Lunala. He has a defense boost. We're gonna go for Hydro Steam into Lunala. We're gonna go for a Sucker Punch into the Flutter. You go for Protect, which is fair. They didn't Terra to Lunala, which is interesting. Because they had Terra available, but sure. Sucker Punch gonna fail. Here's a Hydro Steam. It's good damage to Lunala. Moongeist Beam to take the knockout into Wake. Again, now I think I should have the game sealed guaranteed. Because I just go out into Koraidon. Is it Terra Water Lunala? If it's Terra Water Lunala, they still are weak to Seed Bomb, so that's not even that big of a deal realistically. I think I just Flare Blitz and I think I just Sucker Punch. I'm gonna be forfeit, yeah. I'm assuming it's probably Terra Fairy on the Lunala. If it's Terra Fairy on the Lunala, they can't win. If it's Terra Water, they could, I guess. But I just still don't think they can beat Bonnet. Because like the only damage they can do is probably... Actually, I don't even think it matters because I could still Rage Powder Flame Charge or Rage Powder Flare Blitz even. And I still think that they're in an awful spot. Yeah, like even if it's Terra Water on the Lunala, I just don't think they were beating my... Bonnet next to Koraidon. So I mean turn 1 just worked out incredible and I'm glad I didn't waste a Terra because it ended up being endgame Flutter main, which is what I exactly was really worried about, so I'm very happy that didn't happen. Miraidon, Ho-Oh, Iron Hands, Grimmsnarl, Ursaluna, and Farigiraf. Alright, so Tinglu pretty good here. Tinglu is pretty good. I will be bringing the Tinglu. Trying to think of how I beat the rest, because Ho-Oh is actually pretty tough to damage if I don't bring Wake, so I think I do need Wake. I have a bit of time. I think I need like Tinglu. I think I need Necrozma, which are both pretty good, so I will bring both of them. Koraidon's weird because I don't really want to bring it. It doesn't really do too much, but problem is dealing with Ursaluna. If they bring Ursaluna, I don't know. I don't think you need Ursaluna. I think you go with like Ho-Oh, Miraidon, Iron Hands, Grimm, and you probably have a really solid 4 against me. I think I do bring Walking Wake, and I think I bring Koraidon. Let's try it. I just don't know if they're going to commit to bring Trick Room or not, because the thing is I do have my Trick Room mode, so they might be less inclined to bring the Ursaluna. I think Ho-Oh is just really good into my team. I don't really have the best answers to Ho-Oh other than Walking Wake, which I have to get past a Miraidon first, so that's going to be a big problem. Let's see what we can do. Gonna be Grimmsnarl plus the Miraidon, which is not surprising. Okay. Versus the Tinglu and the Necrozma. I think I'm just gonna go for Protect and Ruination into the Miraidon slot. Because I get to scout for Electro Drift. I don't think they're gonna go for Dazzling Gleam turn 1. So yeah, they stay in, which is perfect. I am gonna be able to get Ruination, hopefully. This is Reflect, yep. Volt Switch. Perfect. That's good. I'm assuming back is Ho-Oh Iron Hands at this point. So I get the Ruination off into the Miraidon for some really good damage. Excellent. Now the question is, do I want a Ruination to catch the switch, or do I want to just double up the Grimmsnarl and take the knockout? Celestial Strike might take the knockout to Reflect, but it's really tough to say. Outplay Spear Break does hurt though. But I feel like Ruination into Miraidon again and Celestial Strike is always decent. I'm just going to go for it. Parting Shot. I was not expecting Parting Shot. I guess I don't have to worry about Thunder Wave in this matchup, which is kind of nice. Okay. This is probably out into Iron Hands. They could go Ho-Oh, I guess. If they go Ho-Oh, that's fine. Oh, Ursaluna. Wait, Ursaluna in that slot? Okay. Volt Switch gonna come out into the Necrozma. It still does a ton of damage, even with the Vessel Ruin. So is it for Rigrat back? If it's for Rigrat back, I do get a Ruination off, which is kind of nice. It's Ho-Oh. They brought Ursaluna. No. Okay, I guess they just want to cover the Trick Room bases. Celestial Strike. That didn't do that much damage. I guess it is Reflect and -1 though. And I do get a Ruination off. Okay. I don't think this is that bad though. Yeah, this isn't bad, but it can get a bit scary. I mean, does the Ho have Tailwind? I feel like it's gotta have Tailwind, right? This is Tailwind Earthquake. I don't have a good switch. I need to Terra for my Koraidon so I don't get Brave Birded in the end. I think we just go for a Ruination into the Ursaluna, and we're gonna go for... Do I Temp Trick Room? No, I think I just Photon Geyser and get damage. Okay, they stay in. Sacred Fire. It is a fast bear. Okay. Good to know. Big damage. Okay. We get a big Ruination off into the bear. All right. It's not bad. It's not great. I want to bring the Wake in. I think I bring the Wake in. This is gonna be tough. It's manageable, but this is pretty tough. I did get good damage into Miraidon. If they Sacred Fire or Brave Bird to Tinglu, how bad is it? I think it's playable. I think the play is to go Koraidon. I don't have a spread move here. That's the unfortunate part. I think my play is to always just Hydro Steam though. And take the knockout into Ursaluna. Because Ursaluna Facade, I think they always sack the Ursaluna and just go for Facade last ditch effort. I'm going Koraidon to get my speed booster on the Walking Wake, but also, like, if it's Fast Bear, it should be Tailwind, right, on the Ho-Oh, which means that if they get Tailwind up, I have to position myself correctly or I'm losing this game. So I do get the Hydro Steam off onto the bear, which picks up the knockout. Great. Yeah, it's Tailwind. Okay. So the switch was great because Tinglu didn't accomplish anything. This is Miraidon coming in. This is where it gets tough. I gotta get the call right. I gotta get the call of what does Miraidon do. Like, if I expect Dazzling Gleam, the best place to switch out the Wake and Terra Fire, get the KO. If they Draco, my best place to protect the Koraidon, attack with Wake. Here's the thing. I feel like Brave Bird plus Electro Drift could be an option here. It just depends on if I think they Dazzling Gleam or not. I feel like the Tinglu switch could be super obvious. I think I'm going to Collision Course swap to Tinglu anyway. This is just tough. This is a tough spot. Because I got to read on, do they Electro Drift hard read and Brave Bird double up? Are they going to go for the KO into my... Are they going to go for the KO into my Walking Wake that has the speed booster? Because the speed booster Walking Wake could outspeed the Ho under Tailwind. Because the Ho has to be like really fast in order to outspeed, I'm pretty sure. All right, let's see if we get the play right, because this could definitely go wrong. It didn't Terra. He Volt Switched. Just needed to go for the Hydro Steam Protect. If I went for Hydro Steam Protect, that was a game-winning play, I think. From Snow. Although it's not game-losing, it's not game-winning. It did Brave Bird double. Okay. Can I win? Possibly. Pretty unlikely, I think. It just came down to, do I Protect Read with Koraidon and Hydro Steam to Ho-Oh? Because if I do, that means they're trapped in with Miraidon locked into Specs Volt Switch against Tinglu and a Koraidon that resists naturally. Yeah, how many turns of Tailwind? Yeah, I can't win, I'm pretty sure. Hydro Steam damage. Brave Bird. Yeah, they have Spear Break, okay. So they have Spear Break, not Foul Play. I think I should have Hydro Steamed the Grimmsnarl, hope for a crit. Here's the thing, I was going down to Terra Fairy Gleam anyway. Unless for some reason they are not Dazzling Gleam, like there was no way I could win at that point. So yeah, they just Parting Shot Brave Bird now and they would guarantee to win. Even Light Screen would guarantee it, so I can't win. It just came down to that read. I just had to read the turn of, do I expect... Because I thought the Tinglu switch might have been obvious, but I wasn't sure if the double up KO. But then again... with Vessel Ruin, but then again, it's Miraidon. Like, Miraidon did more with the Volt Switch than expected because I am bulky Koraidon and that Mon does damage. All right, let's go over to games. In game one, Walking Wake went insane. I did not think it was going to be that well. I guess Ho-Oh Groudon is not a pretty matchup for my restricted Pokemon. However, Walking Wake was able to do really well with the Hydro Steam, and thanks to the Ogerpon lead, I was able to prevent the Walking Wake from getting knocked out. A good follow-up with the Ivy Cudgel, which pretty much just pinned a Ho-Oh, especially because they led both of their restricteds. In game two, I took a lot of damage early, but Trick Room went up and I was able to get 2 knockouts and a lot of damage. Koraidon, after the Flame Charge speed boost next to a partner, was then able to seal the win afterwards. In game three, what can I say, man? I feel like I played pretty well. I think I positioned for the most part pretty solidly. I mean, there were like a few plays I could have done, right? Like, there were few things, like I went for a Flame Charge and Instant expecting like the Kali Shadow to come in and absorb the Collision Course because I thought Instant Roar was pretty valuable to them. I guess I could have just doubled up the Zombicent instead to be safe, but I didn't even know the speed tier, so I guess I could have after I figured it out the first time. But I mean, I was just hoping not to target into Protect. I was hoping to get the damage into Instant I needed because Instant was still kind of a threat. And the fact that I just needed one Stomping Tantrum, man. I just needed one Stomping Tantrum, but double paralysis was the bane. In game 4, turn 1 was really funny, but I was able to get the knockouts onto the big threats. And then Trick Room was able to be set up and was able to sweep in the late game. In game 5, crit into Raging Bolt might not have been great since body press and crunch double up might have knocked out my Necrozma, but Tinglu was so strong, surviving multiple hits. Necrozma was able to get the Trick Room up, and I was in a phenomenal position to clean up the end game after Trick Room expired. In game 6, beautiful turn 1 with no Terras and a double knockout, which allowed a great end game for my Brute Bonnet and Koraidon to close up against the ghost types. In game 7, came down to a big read of what the Miraidon locks into, and unfortunately did get the call wrong. But really, I think a lot of the game just came down to that turn. It was a really important turn, and sometimes you just gotta call whether they're gonna lock into a Dazzling Gleam, or if they're gonna lock into Draco Meteor, or if they go for the electric move, reading the Terrifier, which there were a lot of different options. Necrozma was actually pretty good, and the last time we used Necrozma on the channel was with Frostmoth in a team that was able to also debut a regional championship in Regulation G. I felt like that damage output was a little bit disappointing. However, the life form Necrozma did make up and was able to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, because of the fact that Zamazenta became popular, it's not a Pokemon that Necrozma exactly enjoys dealing with. But thankfully, we do have some partners like the Ruination Tinglu and the Koraidon that are able to help out immensely. If you would like to try out the team, the rental code is on your screen. It's only going to be available for 1 week, so make sure you try it out while you can. But otherwise, you can check out the details of the team, and if I'm able to find the creator's socials, I'll link them down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.